In 1954, the Supreme Court ruled that racial segregation in public schools was unconstitutional in a case called Brown v. Board of Education. So before 1954, Adventist institutions could point to laws in the United States as an excuse for their segregation and discrimination. But after that ruling in 1954, Adventists no longer had a legal excuse. Because Adventist institutions are privately and not publicly run, they weren't legally required to desegregate and give equal access to Black people. But again, after that ruling in 1954, they could not point to the law as an excuse either. It took the Adventist Church 11 years to announce their full desegregation after the 1954 Supreme Court case, Brown v. Board of Education. And even then, it didn't happen willingly. What I'm about to share comes from another book called Seventh-day Adventists and the Civil Rights Movement by Samuel G. London, a historian and professor at Oakwood University. This will also be linked in the show notes. During the Civil Rights Movement, Charles Dudley, a Black Adventist pastor and president of the South Central Conference, participated in multiple protests against racial discrimination. In 1965, Dudley heard about two women from Oakwood University who tried visiting the Huntsville Central Seventh-day Adventist Church in Alabama. They weren't allowed to stay, and so the next week, a group of Oakwood students tried visiting the same church. This time, a white deacon stood at the church door and told them, quote, "I have a gun in my pocket that has 6 bullets for 6 N-words." And I'm not going to repeat that word. This shocked Dudley and encouraged him to keep fighting against racial discrimination. So that same year, he supported members in his conference who sued the Adventist denomination because many Adventist academies still refused to admit Black students. U.S. Attorney General Nicholas Katzenbach and a local branch of the NAACP joined the lawsuit. Katzenbach personally called the General Conference, saying that he was disappointed that 11 years after the Supreme Court case, Adventist schools were still segregated. He asked the General Conference point blank if they planned on integrating, and they stayed quiet. After a long pause, he made it clear that they didn't have to desegregate, but if they remained segregated, they would lose assistance from the U.S. government like certain tax exemptions. Eventually, they caved. So, it took a lawsuit, a personal phone call from the Attorney General of the United States, and the threat of losing special tax benefits that finally got the Adventist Church to issue a resolution for desegregating all Adventist institutions. Again, I highly recommend the books by Samuel G. London and Dr. Calvin B. Rock if you want to learn more